Prologue. 555 BCE, Om Parvat. Sahasri Mahant, one of the most respected sages of the Arya, looked at the massive Himalayan mountain covered with snow. The sun had tinted the mountain into gold. His disciples used to practice the Shastra Vidya near his cave. Barefooted, unfanned by the cold. They had the skill to adjust their body temperature as per the climate. The yellow-colored silver Angavastram was their attire. He had the ancient scripture with him. He was creating another scripture for his disciples and his future bloodline. The scripture of the biggest secret of the Arya. Only known to the Mahant dynasty. The mighty Indradev chose to keep it with them. A secret hid from the world from the era of Mahabharata was vulnerable today. The Mahant dynasty had to protect it from the dark forces at any cost. Sahasri Mahant felt the vibration on his toe inside his cave. He exited to look at the scene. The mountain snow was dropping heavily. All his disciples were staring at it with their eyes wide open. They had never seen anything like this. A few men emerged from the mountains. Body covered with the bhasma, hair locks touching shoulders, and had Trishula with them. Their temple was painted with 3 red lines, forming the Tripundra. The devotees of Lord Shiva. They kept on descending the mountain. Sahasri Mahant and his disciples were not able to contemplate their intention. The vibrations were not natural. They induced it. Sahasri Mahant closed his eyes, summoned his power and gazed at them. He could look as far as the land was spread. The men descending the mountain were the Agaris. 3 lines of Agari Sadhu approaching towards the cave. He signaled his disciples to protect the cave. Half a dozen men blocked the entrance with their spears and tridents. The Agari Sadhu and Sahasri Mahant with the disciples stood next to each other. He clasped his palms together and bowed down in respect. "Oh, sacred Agaris, how may we serve you?" he said. The Agari Sadhus didn't respond, didn't even flinched. Sahasri Mahant, with a broad smile on his face, clasping his hands, said, "There must be some great cause that you allowed us to serve you. We are also the devotees of Lord Shiva like you. Your service will be his service." None of them even flinched and continued to stare at him. He felt the heat of every eye looking at him. Still, keeping his composure, he requested, "Please command us. We are at your service. Allow them to get to it." A loud cry came from behind the sadhus. "Kau!" Sahasri Mahant whispered. He signaled his disciples, and they deployed more men at the entrance. "What are you doing here?" asked Sahasri Mahant. KAVAACH walked to him through the army of Agari Sadhus. "Oh, great Mahant, I didn't expect this question from you. The entire universe knows what I am after. Oh, mighty devotees of Lord Shiva, this is unrighteous to ask for something which should be left alone. We can't go against his will. They won't listen to you. My words control their mind, and my fear has certainly controlled you. Look carefully." He looked at them again. Their eyes were rolled up. Kal was controlling them. Sahasri took a couple of steps back. Looked at each and every Agari Sadhu. "Attack!" cried Kal. Sahasri Mahant clasped his hands and chanted the mantras, raised his fist. The lightning struck his fist, and he punched the earth. The approaching Agaris were tossed up in the air and crashed onto one another. Kal was unfazed by the Sahasri's valor. Kal swung his arms to form a wheel, chanting the mantras, so did Sahasri. A beam of light from both collided. The snow on the ground was melting. Both crashed back after the massive explosion. The leaves of the tree turned to ashes. Nothing was visible for a brief moment. When the light settled down to normal, Kal witnessed what he feared. Sahasri, with his disciples, disappeared. The cave was empty. Everything was gone, so was the secret. Kal had to live another day to get his hand on this ancient secret.